Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I had a couple news stories for you surrounding The Division. As you know, we just got out of the beta that everyone got into. I covered it on the channel doing a performance review, and I didn't really get to see enough in the beta to know if it's a recommended game because they just left a lot out of the beta. It was a very limited section of the map, and I still just want to see more of this game when it does come out. I think it has a lot of potential, but there's a lot of controversy surrounding it right now. There's a lot of shady things going on, let's say to say the least. So first off, we have the season pass coming out of the gate. So we got a season pass announcement. I've spoken about these in the past. We don't really like these season pass announcements before games even come out. I just think it sets a bad precedent. People pre-ordering games and pre-ordering expansions before we even know if this is going to be a good title, especially with it being a pretty much all online game, an MMORPG style game, always online. Whether this game is really going to even stand the testament of time to live through the expansions that are going to be released on a season pass is, just a question mark in my mind. So I certainly wouldn't plop down money on the season pass day one, because that's the big question for me. They have said they're going to be releasing 3 expansions over the course of the year. We don't know exactly when they are or what that's going to entail. Now, we've also heard that there are going to be monthly events tied in with the season pass, and we don't know exactly what these are yet. They could just be small little community challenges, like maybe, I don't know, get 100 headshots in the weekend, or maybe if the entire community gets a million headshots or something, I don't know, or a million revives, everyone gets a skin or something. But there's going to be season pass only events. And what I'm saying is we don't know the specifics of these yet. I'm alluding to what possibilities could be. It could be far worse than that. That would be pretty minimal if that was the case. But it could be far worse, and it sounds like they're really dividing the community. I mean, it sounds like they took the naming of the game, The Division, just a little bit too literally on this one. So our next news story for The Division actually comes courtesy of YouTube channel Team Epiphany. I'm going to link to him down in the description below, and kudos to him for doing these hard-hitting questions on the developers. He recently got a chance to sit down with Ubisoft and do an interview talking about The Division. It's about a 15-17 minute video, which I will link to down in the description below, as well as to around the exact soundbite of when he asks about this. So he basically inquires to the developer if they were limited at all or held back because they had to develop for the consoles as well as the PC, implying console parity along with platform parity across all platforms. And when he inquired to the developer basically said, that this was not a console port, and I've known that going into this already ahead of time. I've known that the team actually working on the PC side of The Division is a pretty strong PC group that really is dedicated to the PC. They're hardcore PC gamers themselves. So I knew that going into this. So this wasn't a big surprise when I heard this. But he said that this is not a port, and they have been dedicated to working on this, and he's seen the difference when he's worked on previous games where that has been the case, where they've done console ports and they've had restrictions as a result of that, but that wasn't the case here. But they did have to limit themselves as far as the graphics and certain things and features they had implemented into the game, because they didn't want to go too far away from where the consoles are, basically implying that the PC could go much further than what they did with what they have, because of the console versions. And that's something we've, seen come up a lot of, rumor, a lot of speculation with many titles that come out. It's like, oh, did they do this because of the consoles? Is the console parity the reason for this? And thank you to Team Epiphany for finally having the balls to ask the questions that I want to know the answers to. These are the kind of things I want to know the answer to. A few months ago, on TGW, Brian and I sat down with Adam Sessler to talk about the Friday the 13th game. Some of the first questions I asked him were about the PC version. I wanted to know about optimization, about Unreal Engine 4, things like that about the PC version that I don't feel enough game journalists ever ask when they're interviewing these game developers. And I don't know if it's because they're console gamers themselves, maybe, and they just don't know, which seems like a very big possibility. I understand, the PCs, I guess, I know it's not really a smaller market, but I think in the media, it's a smaller market, if you know what I mean. So maybe that's why they don't inquire other questions. But then a part of me worries that maybe they don't want to ask these questions because they're afraid that the developers don't want to talk about it. Because, you know, we've seen a lot of bad PC ports in recent years. I know if I were to go interview Warner Brothers right now, they'd probably be squirming in their loafers a little bit, not wanting to talk about PC ports too much, because I'd probably bring up Batman Arkham, like, oh, Joker's coming. Can we stay away from this guy, please? Can we please stay away from Joker talking about the PC ports? Because I don't know, but thank you to Team Epiphany though for asking those questions. Once again, links to his channel in that video down below. You guys should definitely check that out. And lastly, something also to come out of that interview, where he was talking about the console versions are going to have graphics options. You say what, man? Did you say what, man? Graphics options in a console version. Apparently there were even some in the beta that I wasn't aware of. Digital Foundry had covered this. It had chromatic and aberration toggle, which you could turn on and off. That's good to see, because personally don't like it. And they had a sharpness slider, which would affect anti-aliasing effectively. And they mentioned in this interview also with Team Epiphany that there were going to be some lighting options. Now, I don't know if that's in addition to the chromatic aberration, if that's what they were talking about, if this is extra options on top of that. But if it is, this is just really interesting, because I know Project Cars did have some graphics options on the console that you could adjust. Wasn't too many, but it's nice to see this here. And he's saying that this is essentially so the player can choose if they want to have a better, better lighting experience, better graphical fidelity, or a better frame rate. And that's something I think we need to see more on consoles for sure. That's something they've been missing entirely. They just don't really get that. So that's good to see. I think the console players should have that option, more frequently. Like if I was on a console, I would love to have the option, like, do you want to play 1080p 30 FPS, or do you want to play 720p 60 FPS? Because you know what? If I was playing on a big screen TV in that situation, sitting like 6-7 feet away, I'd probably choose the 720p 60 FPS, if I can be perfectly honest. Because sitting that far away, I really wouldn't be able to tell that much of a difference. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Please let me know what you think about all the Division news down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time.